to introduce yourself, what type of investor you are, where you typically invest, preferred structures, et cetera.
Perfect. Thank you, Richard. Good to see everybody. I presented at the San Francisco Forum a couple years ago, and it's great to see a lot of familiar faces. We partner with other boutique managers to bring special purpose vehicles in frontier tech to our LP base. We sometimes originate deals, but oftentimes to get the best deals, I have the ability to co-GP with existing venture capitalists. Some notable investments, we've invested in later stage deals, invested in SpaceX at $350 billion. I think yesterday was reported at $175 trillion for the IPO. Invested in OpenAI at $157 billion. They're just raised another $100 billion at $840. We'll see how that goes. Anduril, we invested at $29 billion. They're rumored to have another round coming out at 60. So that's gone well. Most recently, Humanoid Robotics is where I've spent my time over the last 2 years. I'll be speaking on the main floor tomorrow to dive a little bit deeper into that sector. You know, Elon has said it's going to be the biggest product in human history, and it's made for a very interesting battle between China, the US, the rest of the world from a manufacturing standpoint. So we've come to the point where this year is going to be critical to see who can truly scale manufacturing with the proper price points to make it work in the marketplace. I'll talk about it more tomorrow, but there's roughly 8 companies that are domestic in the humanoid space, valued at around $1 billion or more, with roughly $100 million each in capital on their balance sheets. Half of them are for in-home. Of those, Tesla, I don't want to bet against him. So the other side is business-to-business humanoids. So the Optimus robot is amazing, but it's kind of weak. It only lifts 10 kilograms. On the other side, I represent 2 of the 4 B2B companies that are focused more on manufacturing, shipbuilding, Department of Defense, Army, Navy, different applications there. As far as investment vehicle, it's all special purpose vehicles. So my investor base tend to be business operators that are very much control freaks anyway. So, you know, some of them are invested in broad-based black box funds, but the idea of a 5 to 7 year or longer time frame to see any return on investment, I think a lot of folks are very fatigued by that fact. So the goal is to find areas like humanoids that have massive total addressable marketplaces, try to get our investors in before the institutional capital comes in. And then once institutional capital gets poured on top of our shares, there'll be a more active secondary market and potentially get our investors out with a nice return, at least for some of their investment within, a 24 to 36 month time frame. So that's kind of the idea.
I have a question around energy, because robotics, data centers, AI, the big constraint bottleneck, many say, is energy. So some say, okay, maybe I should be investing in some publicly traded energy companies or some innovative energy solutions. But like small mobile nuclear reactor type experiments are like years out and small stage, it seems. So as a VC company, do you guys find opportunities where you can bet on energy innovation related to data centers or something else? Or do you leave that alone yourself?
Great question. I had 3 LPs over the last 2 weeks ask me for creative income strategies. So that was kind of my focus coming here, was obviously to try to educate as much as I can on the deals that I have, but also find reputable deal flow in that space. So there's a modular data center company here that I found very interesting. And a lot of my investors are real estate family offices. I live in the South Bay of Los Angeles here. So they're looking for alternative investments that look and feel like their traditional real estate investments that have grown wealth over their families for many generations. That's why they look to my tech investments, but also if there's more creative income ideas, such as the modular data center piece. That's pretty interesting.
Join the Family Office Club by visiting familyoffices.com. We look forward to seeing you at our next live event.
If you are a founder, raising capital, developing real estate, or you're an investor, would love for you to get involved in the Family Office Club. I've run this community for 18 years now. We've hosted 300 live events. We have 17 million social media group members and followers. We have the #1 YouTube channel on family offices. We have the #1 most popular podcast on family offices. You can learn more about us and our membership options at familyoffices.com. We have 30 in-person events planned in 2026 and another dozen events this year. Please go to familyoffices.com to learn more.